Thank you so much and welcome to this podcast. This is Brother Benson, and I hope all of you are doing wonderful. Today, I want to share with you about what happened at the rally of Pastor Dorcas, where Maina and Njenga invaded with a group of youths. Before I go into the main discussion on even to weigh my thoughts, I just want to bring you to speak about Maina Njenga in the period of 2 years back. If you remember very well, when the administration of Kenya Kwanza came into power, Maina Njenga was uh, a threat to the administration because Maina Njenga was trying to campaign in Mount Kenya and trying to preach the message of bringing people together, you know. And majority of them of the legislator then who are allied to the Kenya Kwanza, especially coming from Mount Kenya, were not very happy with what he was doing, and to an extent whereby Maina Njenga had to go to the DCI. He had a case to answer. But in politics, anything can happen. And today, Maina Njenga is a free man and he's supporting the government. And that is how our politics is. Sometimes our politics, especially in Kenya, it's quite much interesting how things change so fast that somebody who used to be bad or somebody who you used not to associate with, when interests converge, he becomes the best friend and you can work with them. But we understand about that. So before we go to the main discussion, let me, if I can play this video so it forms the basis of our discussion. Thank you so much.
No, this is not fair. Asha, it's not fair. No, nakinya haria Dorcas ari. Pastor Dorcas amepotea. Akiendera haria ai kimondo kianyu gĩtigĩũkire gũthũkia mahoya Ngai. Hadi Pastor Dorcas ametoroka mahali alikuwa amekaa.
Okay, thank you so much. That is just but part of the video. If you look at that video, there are a few things that I'm picking from it. One is the group under the leadership of Maina Njenga. They planned for everything because they came in large numbers and they went to the VIP tent that forced Dorcas, the pastor or the wife or the spouse of the former deputy president, to run for safety. And remember, this is a spiritual event. And the way they came, I think that it was not spiritual on their side. It seemed that it was a rally. And also, something that I'm picking, they came and they wanted to send message, especially to the organizers of the event and even to the deputy president, former deputy president, um, Rigathi Gachagua. So that's how politics is. But what could be the reason? You know, since Rigathi Gachagua was impeached, Mount Kenya especially has been very hostile to anybody who is allied to, who is, seems to be supporting President William Samoei Ruto. And as we speak, the Mount Kenya is gone. They do not want to listen to anybody, including even the legislators who are coming from Mount Kenya region. Majority of them have not have an engagement with their constituents for a long time. So with Maina Njenga coming in as somebody who is supporting the government, remember Maina Njenga has quite a large following of youths. You witness that even in the video, he came with group of youth. But this incident or this particular scenario is sending a message. And to me, I must say that I've only picked like three messages that is sending to Rigathi Gachagua. One of them is for the Rigathi Gachagua to start suspending his political campaigns in central Kenya or gathering or political activities in central Kenya. Remember, this is not the first time this is happening to Rigathi Gachagua or even somebody who is very closest, the wife to him. There was one in Limuru when they went for the funeral. You saw what happened. There was also the other one in Nyandarua, if I'm not wrong. And now this is the third one. So, what does this one mean? As I said earlier, this one means that you are not allowed to have any gathering in Mount Kenya. Yeah, because every time or any time you will tent or you will have these gatherings, we will disrupt them. Either you yourself or the people that are allied to you. Because this is politics. And that's how politics of Kenya runs. So that is one. And by suspending or by making him not to have this gathering, because Rigathi Gachagua has made it that he's campaigning or is doing his political activities around Mount Kenya. He has never gone outside Mount Kenya to preach politics or to do politics. The only time he went was in Kakamega, but he went for uh, the tournament for Malala. But 99% of his campaign or 99% of his political engagement has been around Mount Kenya. And now, if they're sending this message of not to do any gathering, one, what this one is working is not the one, what this one is doing, one, it will deny him the opportunity to interact with his people or his audience or the people who wants to listen to his message. Two, this one will also tend to calm, that resistance, the rise of Rigathi Gachagua, because he will not be engaging with people regularly. So his effect will be decreasing. So those are one of the message that this incidents is sending Rigathi Gachagua to suspend his political engagement in Mount Kenya, which means if you will not, we will always be coming for you, or we will always having such like interruptions. That is one. The second thing that I'm also feeling or I'm seeing is creating environment of fear, especially to Rigathi Gachagua, his supporters, and his allies. And this is due to the history of Maina Njenga, because you know the history of Mungiki when he was the Mungiki leader. Then from there, he turned, become a politician, become a pastor. But that history is still with him. So anybody who will be planning to come to those gatherings that Rigathi Gachagua or any ally of Rigathi Gachagua will be organizing, they will be meeting such like incidences. And this will create fear. Nobody will be willing to attend those meetings if you have knowledge or you have an intel that Maina Njenga might be coming, or even anybody who is associated with him. Yeah. So if that environment is created, yeah. So until now, Rigathi Gachagua cannot find time or cannot get that opportunity to address any gathering because of fear, yeah, because of even his safety. Because I'm also made to understand that he was supposed at- to be attending that function, and what happened, he might have had the intel, and he decided not to come. So that fear, that is another good message that this incident is sending. The last one is about intimidation, especially for Rigathi Gachagua, because Rigathi Gachagua is the center of this. Remember, in the eve of New Year, if I'm not wrong, Maina Njenga had the same prayer meetings in Nyeri, but nobody went and invaded that rally, that prayer rally. He had to finish the way he started, and everybody, he did his prayers. By the end of the day, he left. But for this one, he had to come in. I don't know whether he was invited. I do not have any information that he was invited. Yeah. But by him coming, that to intimidate anybody, and that's the kind of politics that we usually do. And I don't know when, as a country, or I don't know when, as an individual, we will start to engage um, in the politics of dialogue, especially like now. Um, if we want to say that we want all the Mount Kenya and the leaders of Mount Kenya to be and the youth to be engaged in the government, what is the rule of dialogue? You have to you have to talk as a community and say that where is the problem? Yeah. So when you go to negotiating table, you go um, with with points that these are the things that we want you to do for us, you know. But the way this one works, it creates an environment whereby it's not very good for politics, because it is if it reaches that a point whereby your meetings can be invaded, you know, it calls for your safety. And I think let me see if I think Rigathi might have um, tweeted something. This is what Rigathi Gachagua said. um, 15 hours ago. This is, oh, sorry, 13 hours ago. Unleashing the leader of an outlawed criminal gang and his goons to disrupt peaceful prayers and discredit the altar is the lowest any government can go, no matter the level of desperation. That is what he says. And when you go to that comment, somebody say utajua ujui cheza. Somebody also say you did so to Raila Odinga and his supporters. Wewe tribal extremists kwenda huko making silly noise here while the man you purported is ah amesema maneno yenye I cannot say in the, on the show. Somebody saying this is so many comments are here. Somebody from somebody John Bathia say Ruto desperation is on another level. He will and has already edged himself out of mountain. I quote that is from him. Somebody also say, still I have a date with William Ruto on this journey of transforming Kenya. I know it has been hard for him, but he has performed beyond expectation in 2 years. Fertilizer from 750 to 2,000 Kenya shillings, dollar from 170 to 127, rate of inflation from 8% to 4%. More than 200 Kenyans are working in abroad, housing unit 120 complete, 124 124,000 to be ready before this year ends. Mhm. So those are just like comments that are coming from the people. Maina should never think he is the only gang leader who can control Mungiki. He should remember how many times he has escaped assassination by the police and his enemies within gang. It is a matter of time before peaceful elements in the organization who love the community turn against him with these consequences. So these the different um, uh, people are giving different opinion on this, but like this call everybody, any leader, if you disagree with any leader, why can't we disagree on ideas? Why can't we disagree on ideologies? Why can't we disagree on policies? Yeah, why is it that always we tend to have this confrontation politics as the order of the day? Yeah, how does that one even bring development? If I disagree with you in your ideology, does it mean that it has to be very confrontational to an extent whereby now even a spiritual event is turned into a political rally? You know, it's not only for him, but for everyone, every leader. So I think like we should embrace that environment whereby we compete on ideologies, we compete on ideas, we compete on good policies. Yeah. So let's see. And now, because those are the things that I feel now, how is Rigathi going to react? What are the strategies that Rigathi is going to put in place? Because as things stands now, is that there's that fight to control Mount Kenya. So everybody has to employ its strategies. How will you control Mount Kenya? But as you control Mount Kenya, is anybody engaging the people on the ground? How are the people on the ground saying? Or is just a matter of telling people go vote this side or follow this guy, follow this guy? Mm, mm. We will be here and we will be watching as things unfold. And I know Rigathi Gachagua also might be sitting somewhere, crafting on the strategy to encounter that. Because I remember from Limuru, when he was attacked in Limuru during that funeral, he's been, sometimes if he cannot make it into those gatherings, sometimes he usually make a phone call. He calls while at home. So that is one of the strategy that I've seen he has employed in various occasions when he feels that the place that he's going is not safe for him. So he would have his person, or he will have his person on the crowd. When that person is given an opportunity to speak, Rigathi Gachagua will call and he will speak to his constituents or the people who want to listen to his politics. So we are here. We will be watching and see how the battle of the mountain will unfold and who will be the winner or who will win the Mount Kenya as it stands. Right now is a battlefield for big politicians. There are those who want to say that this is our area. There are those who also want to get some share of it. So politicians are fighting for Mount Kenya. That is all about votes and how somebody can get a presidency. That is all about it. Thank you so much and may God bless you. See you next time.